Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's start our session number 566, and we will continue the journey of moving from the default mode to the create mode. And one of the things that we have realized, I'm sure, is that we are so stuck up in survival activities. We are so stuck up in dealing with our interferers. Interferers are those things that don't allow us to fulfill our complete potential in life. And for the last few days, we've been working on something called conflicts, which cause a lot of further interferers, internal and external. And yesterday we looked at a behavior where we give up both on our relationships as well as our goals. And that kind of behavior is called the turtle behavior. And today we were going to look upon another behavior, and let's see. But before we do that, I just want to remind you that when you are engaged in a conflict, there are two things you have to take into account, as you know. One, you are in a conflict because why? Because you have a goal that conflicts with somebody else's goals. Or somebody else wants something and you also want the same thing. Somebody wants to do something in a particular manner. You want to do it in a particular manner. There is a conflict. Now, your goal may be highly important to you, or it might have very little importance. Okay. The second factor, which is always there, is first of all, you are having a conflict with a person you are in relationship with, isn't it? We don't have conflict with total strangers. So you may, obviously, if you have a relationship with someone, you cannot discount it. You will need to be able to interact effectively with the other person in the future. The relationship may be very, very important to you, or it might have very little importance. Now, keeping these things in mind, Niti, am I recording?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So, how important your personal goals are to you and how important the relationship is to you, it affects how you act in a conflict. So, we have talked about internal conflict where we are having a conflict within ourselves. Yeah, I call it the conflict between the mind and the heart. Right? Your logical brain tells you something and your intuitive brain is telling you something else. And there is a conflict. And then we are talking about conflicts with other people. And we have looked at one type yesterday, which is called the turtle. So we don't want to go too much into it because we already done that. And definitely turtle behavior doesn't work for you. Do you think a turtle will win or lose in life? And I'm not looking at win and lose in the conventional terms. For me, losing means, now listen to this very carefully. Losing means that we are, narrowing down the orbit of our life. हमारे जिंदगी का दायरा जब छोटा हो जाता है, I would call that losing in life. When you expand your horizon, when you expand your, circle of influence, that is winning. When you close it down. So if you are contracting, अगर आप सुकड़ रहे हो, then that I will call as losing. और अगर आप expand कर रहे हो, if you are expanding, I would call that as winning. Of course, your conventional way of looking at it also is valid. Yeah, so there are certain types of conflict behavior that will set you free in your mind. It will free your attention. And there are certain others which will cause more problems for you, even if you are a turtle. If you withdraw from a relationship and your goals, do you think you'll be happy? Definitely not. So today, let's look at another type. And a very familiar type. I think the photograph is quite explicit. Niti, what do we call this creature?
Shark.
We've had a lot of experience with sharks, haven't we? So will you read this for me, please?
The shark forcing type. Sharks try to overpower opponents by forcing them to accept their solution to the conflict.
Yeah, whose solution? The shark wants his solution to be accepted by everybody. Yeah, so he's a guy who says, my way or the highway. Yeah. So zahir hai ki this shark, his own goals are very important to them.
Their goal, sorry.
Yeah, go on, go on.
Their goals are highly important to them and relationships are of minor importance. Sharks seek to achieve their goals at all costs. They are not concerned with the needs of others.
Yeah, this is the line I think we should all underline. If you are not concerned about others, if you're not concerned about how your actions are going to impact other people, that is a shark behavior. When you only care for yourself, you know, like people on the road, when they don't follow the rules, these are people who only care for themselves. I should reach somehow or the other. I don't care what happens to the others. Yeah, the next one.
They do not care if others like or accept them. Sharks assume that conflicts are settled by one person winning and one person losing. They want to be the winner.
Yeah, so see, they have a very strong belief. You know, the belief is if somebody has to win, somebody has to lose. And the person who loses is not going to be me. उनकी मान्यता क्या है? भैया किसी को जीतना है तो किसी को तो हारना पड़ेगा ना. मैं नहीं हारूंगा, तुम हारो. All right.
Winning gives sharks a sense of pride and achievement. Losing gives them a sense of weakness, inadequacy, and failure. They try to win by attacking, overpowering, overwhelming, and intimidating others.
They will even do manipulating or whatever is required. जैसे हिंदी में बोलते हैं ना, गधे को बाप बनाना है तो भी बना देंगे. Right? Like politicians will come and touch your feet before elections. Right? So they will do what it takes to win. Now tell me this, that shark, is he going to be a winner in life?
No.
Oh, all right. So what are the consequences for him and others around him? So we are all familiar with shark behavior, okay? So I want you to look into it and see. Now we have certain labels we give to people, right? Based on what we observe. So who do you normally call a shark? Guys, can you share that with me? I mean, if you have understood the definition here. आप किसको shark कहते हो normally? Who do you call a shark? I'm sure you know a lot of people in your life.
A person who by hook or crook must have his way.
All right. And what kind of behavior would they be exhibiting? Because how do you know that he is a person like that?
Because he won't give you a chance. He won't give you a chance at all.
Okay, so what do they do? That's what I'm saying. Because see, the only thing we can observe is what they do and what they say. That's all we can see, na? So when you see a shark, what behavior would be visible to you? And then you'll say, okay, see, he always wants his own way.
Overpower you?
How? What does he do or say? See, what is visible? He does something or she does something and you say he's trying to overpower me. Correct?
Try to control us.
Yeah, but what is he doing? What is he doing or saying? That is the question. See, you can observe only what they are doing or what they are saying.
Coerce us to accept their preferences.
These are all your interpretations. What are they actually doing and saying? See, we are observing what they are doing, no?
He will shout at you, sir.
Okay, so one of the things that they can do is shout at you. Okay? So usually when somebody shouts at you, you call that person a shark. But have you noticed one thing in life? There are a lot of people who shout at you, but they are not sharks. And there are a lot of people in life, they never shout at anyone, but they are the biggest sharks. So what is a shark? A shark is a person who cares only about himself or herself, and he does not care about other people. So shark is a person who has no problem in winning by making other person lose. For example, if you're in a running race, he has no problem in tripping you and making you fall so that he can win.
They do a lot of work at the background.
Yeah. So what is it? See, my point to you is, Shanti ji, how do you recognize what action will you see and what action is what? Behavior, no? And what words will you be hearing from such people? How do you judge if somebody is being a shark or not?
They put all obstacles in front of us. They won't allow us to move forward.
Yeah, I know, but what are they saying and what are they doing? That's what you can see, no? Now, the reason why I'm telling you this is that you should be able to recognize when you are doing the same thing. Yeah, and Niti, go ahead.
Sir, one is when a shark is a very forceful in front of you, they will try and overpower every decision, but they will not let you take a decision and impose their decision on you.
That is true, but what do they
On
say
the
or do?
extreme side, there is also the sharks who will resist everything and in the softest manner do an emotional blackmail to convince you to follow their path.
Yeah, so there is a certain type of speaking that is there, no? Otherwise, how do you know that he's doing an emotional blackmailing?
So the forceful shark will convey that I am thinking wrong, I am useless.
He will tell you that you're wrong, right? He will cut you. Anything you say, no, this is not right. I don't agree.
Fault finding, lot of fault finding.
And they may do it very politely also. You know, some of them can be sarcastic also. Acha, really? You think this your way is going to work? Like one guy, you know, I wanted to start my own business. And I used to work with that guy with the understanding that one day you will become a partner here. Much before I met you, this is years ago. And it was not an explicit, what shall I say, you know how people make promises without making promises? Dekh lenge, we will see. So when it came to that, I said, hello, 3 years have passed. I mean, are you going to make me a partner or not? So the guy said, no. Look, I have one partner, only she will remain the partner. If you want, I cannot make you a partner. And I thought I was a very good friend of his. Right? So I said, all right, then if you don't mind, can I go and start my own company? And at those days, I was commanding a rate. I mean, I'm talking about 20 years from now, 25 years from now, I was commanding a market rate of around 35,000 rupees a day. Okay? Which we used to bill. So the guy said, हाँ 2-3 रुपए रोज तो मिल ही जाएगा तेरे को. That's a subtle way, no? You can call it gaslighting. You can call it trying to put you down. So the reason why I'm asking you this question. So what is the question I'm asking you? How do you recognize if somebody is a shark? Right? What are their actions? Action means what are they doing? And what are their words? What are they saying? Now, many of you can say many things, but not specific. Okay, look, this is what they do. The reason I'm asking you is if you do the same thing yourself, you should be able to recognize it. Because I promise you, even the best of us, from time to time, we indulge in this shark behavior. So when you indulge in the shark behavior, are you able to recognize it? Yeah, that's why I'm asking us to enumerate, what is shark behavior according to you? Yes, Vetrivelji.
Sir, when they talk, we can recognize like purpose is me oriented or we oriented.
Your signal is very bad here.
Yeah.
How do you recognize? That is what I'm saying. See, if you recognize something, you will be able to, for example, you are walking on the, Dubai Marina and there are certain kind of ladies over there. All kinds of ladies are there, but some of them you recognize, na? Because these are those ones. How you recognize that? You are seeing something, right?
Yes.
So what do you see? Right now,
They're not self-oriented, sir. Their purpose in the conversation is towards me cause.
I know this is all your interpretation. What exactly do you see?
Let me think, sir.
What are you able to observe? You're saying by observing something, you are making this statement, isn't it? You're hearing them say something, you can see them doing something. That is why you are able to say, okay, they are like this and they are like that. Right? I understand that you recognize it. But I want you to know clearly what is it that they are doing? What is it that they are saying? So that when you do the same thing, you should be able to recognize it. Now, why you should be able to recognize it? Why should we recognize if somebody is being a shark or not? Yes, Kunenji.
That's a very good point. So what's coming to me is that I will see a bit of reflection of arrogance through words and the body language, and they'll be insisting on their point of views that this is what is the right, correct, by forcing, and then might be insulting as well.
Yeah, now all these labels that you are telling, there is a behavior behind it, na? You're saying body language, okay. So certain posture that they have.
Behavior is I am right, and you have
behavior
to
is
accept it.
saying, like body language, you said, body language will be they'll look at you, try to intimidate you, correct? What are the words that they say? I'm right. They can say something like, you keep quiet, you don't know anything, I will tell you. Or they'll say something like, you will do what I tell you. See, let us be clear and specific. वो बोलते क्या है और वो करते क्या है? And why am I asking this? Because when we are doing it ourselves, जब हम खुद करेंगे ऐसी चीजें, we should be able to recognize it. You see, so there is a default mode we get into in certain situations.
I think in short, can we say, sir, that the individual having shark attributes are more arrogant in totality?
Not necessary. I mean, but how do you define arrogant? What do you see in a person that makes you say that they are arrogant? मैं वो बोल रहा हूँ.
Okay.
आप लेबल की बात कर रहे हो, मैं बोल रहा हूँ उनके जो बर्ताव है या उनका जो बिहेवियर है या जो बोलते हैं. See, you can call anybody arrogant. I have seen that many people who are very quiet, जो बोलते नहीं हैं, we call them arrogant, isn't it? A lot of people who don't mix up with you, they don't talk, they prefer to be quiet. You call them arrogant, isn't it? So let's not go by the labels. So label is like a judgment, but what is it that you're observing? अभी how do you say कि कोई आदमी झूठा है? We say na about some people he is a liar. So what do you observe? When you call somebody a liar, what are you observing?
Like he is saying something but not taking action or reflecting.
Yeah, saying something, doing something else.
Yeah.
मैं आपको कल मिलूंगा सर. कल आपको रिपोर्ट मिल जाएगी सर. तो कल को पता नहीं एक महीने के लिए नहीं आएगा. So you know he's a liar, right? So I am saying, आप किसको arrogant बोलते हो?
The one who
किस
is
behavior को?
the one who is forcing his point of view forcefully. That
Yeah,
is-
how does he do that? There is a way of talking, na?
Yeah, I feel they will not respect you, and they will show some egoistic, and they will lower rate you, means they will not rate you and underrate you.
Okay. I agree with all of you. What this is also again your label, no? I'm saying what is that person actually doing or saying? So you're saying that he will degrade you, he will do this and he will do that.
He
What
is
I am
loud in his speech.
He will tell, I'm okay, you are not okay.
Okay, so
am
that
the-
is a specific. He is going to say, okay, look, I know better, you don't know anything. That
He
is
is
one of the
loud in
things
his,
he
he
can
is
do.
loud in his speech. He won't let.
He will be, yeah, loud and trying to make you shut up.
dominate, yeah.
Yeah, that dominate is a label we give to certain behavior. See, now we must start to be able to differentiate between what somebody is actually doing and what label we are putting on it. Are you getting it, Tyaguddin?
And they will influence you through emotion, like crying or getting angry, something like that. They themselves do it.
Yeah, right. But what did I just say? I said we must learn to distinguish between what people are actually doing and what they are actually saying and our labels that we are giving to that. You get that? Now, there is a reason why I'm asking something to you. I'm asking you to identify actions and words. Why do you think I'm asking you to identify action and word? I've already told you why, but I'm asking you to check. Have you understood that or not?
Not to misinterpret or for clarity and to avoid from our side.
Okay, that is
To
also
identify
there,
it.
but there is another reason why I'm asking you, and I'll repeat that reason.
To recognize what are we the same.
To recognize when we are doing the same things, not to know whether we are the same.
Yeah, when we are doing the same. Yeah.
Yeah, so sometimes if I am speaking in that manner, or if I am, behaving in a certain manner, which is recognized as a shark behavior, I should be able to recognize it when I'm doing it myself.
Correct.
Okay, why? Now let us understand why. What is the problem? First of all, you tell me, will this shark win or lose in life? A person who is labeled as a shark, who is perceived as a shark, what kind of a life is he going to have?
A lonely life.
Okay.
Because
He
out
will
of behavior is anyway not, he or she is anyway not taking other people along.
Okay. Then what else? He will live with a lot of fear and suspicion. Have you seen these dictators? Many of the dictators in many countries, you'll see they'll have secret police and they want to find out who is talking against them and all that. Because they have done so many shark actions, they are afraid all the time that somebody will do the same to them. So what are the consequences of being perceived by anyone as a shark? So there are two things. One, for example,
Insecurity,
you have, yes, Tyaguddin, go ahead.
insecurity and lack of peace might be.
Exactly. A person who is insecure and lack of peace, right? Where is its attention going to be in life? On survival or creation?
First survival, next creation.
Yeah, and you see all these sharks, in politics and other things, what kind of behavior they do because of their insecurity.
They don't do any creative work. They want to suppress people. That's
They
it.
are only doing survival work, right? For them, survival means that now I have won this election. From now on, I should be ready for winning the next one. How many actions they do because of that? Now, forget about all politicians around. Many of us are in corporate, many of us are in families. You tell me, when somebody is doing a shark behavior in your circle of relationships, how do they behave? And what are the consequences of that?
No creativity at all. No new things are created. They just want to preserve what the status quo.
Okay, very good.
They are very lonely. They are very lonely.
They are very lonely. And what else?
Sir, one of the evidence is They will have a lot of material possession, but they will not be good people in their life.
Yeah, okay, and they will never really get honor and respect from anyone, right? As long as people are afraid of them, people will be with them. When the fear is no longer there, they will not be, nobody will care for them. I have practically seen this in my life, in my family, with some people like that. Okay. So suppose you are doing something or saying something, and people in your circle of influence, your friends, your family, your co-workers, if they start seeing you as a shark, what would be the consequences for you, and what would be the consequences for everybody? That's a good thing to look at.
They will not interact and they will drop you.
Yeah, they will drop you. Then
They will have a small circle of people who just obey them.
yeah, all circle of yes men. Whatever they say, people will say yes, yes, you're doing right. So what is the danger of that? You are surrounded only by yes men. What is the danger of that?
You don't have a genuine relationship.
Okay, and you will be like the emperor without any clothes. You heard that story, all of you?
Yes.
You will never get any feedback for improvement of what you're doing. In families, people will label you as, "Arey, he never listens to anyone, no use of telling him anything." People will say, "Oh, he wants to do everything his way, then let him do it. We don't want to have anything to do with this guy." But what does it do to the entire? See, I'll tell you something. When there are sharks anywhere, whether family or your team or in society, there is a lot of fear and insecurity in society itself. Okay? Trust is very low. People don't trust each other. People are afraid of each other. A European university had done one research, and they found out that in countries where trust is high, prosperity is also high. In countries where prosperity is, trust is high, happiness is also high, and prosperity is also high. In families where trust is high, tell me, what is the purpose of a relationship? Do you remember? To support each other, to empower each other, to make each other stronger. Will it happen if there are sharks in any relationships?
No.
Yes, no?
No.
Well, what does a shark do? Is he empowering anyone? Is he making anybody stronger? He is only making himself stronger. You know, a long time back, I read somewhere that, true leader is one that people will follow him not because of his position, but they will follow him because they want to be like him.
They don't create leaders.
Who does not create leaders? The shark.
Yes.
Yeah, in fact, they'll be afraid of other people, showing up. Now forget about public life. Now let's look at our own life. Let's practically look at our life and find out. See, the shark's attitude is, I care only about myself. I don't care about other people. Okay. Now you check and see, are you being a shark in any area of your life? You don't have to tell us if you don't want to, but if you're being a shark in your life, so you've got 24 hours to mull over it. Yes, Priya ji.
Hello,
Yeah.
am I audible?
Yes, yes.
So there's this friend of mine, he always says तुम्हें अपनी मर्जी की चलानी होती है every time. So I guess with this person I'm being a shark.
Yeah, in his eyes, you are certainly, and he may not
Ah.
call you a shark because you would be a very sweet and nice person with him.
Yes. But he's like every time कुछ भी हो नहीं ये चीज ऐसे ही होनी चाहिए. Like why is it for you? Why don't you listen to me also? There's something I also expect. But
Yeah.
every time he wants to fulfill your
Yeah, but
expectations.
you're doing the same thing with your dad and mom also, isn't it?
But मुझे उनकी बात नहीं सुननी. No. Because they also don't listen to me.
Oh, ठीक है. So there is always he. How are you going to be perceived by them? What are the consequences for you? आपने जो करना है वो आपकी मर्जी है. We are not here to tell you आपको क्या करना चाहिए. We are not here to tell you what you should do. But you look and see that if you have a stubborn attitude where you're only concerned about yourself, ultimately what's going to happen to you?
I'll be left alone, I guess. सब चले जाएंगे.
So if you want that, that's fine.
नहीं, I can't live alone. This is
Exactly.
my biggest fear.
Yeah, so you don't have to do everything that somebody says, but you can certainly listen to it and then make a choice. Ke listen, I mean, look, sometimes at least the people who are your well-wishers, you should be able to recognize those people, is it not? Sometimes
Yeah.
well-wishers are not, I mean, they might be appearing to be harsh also. कभी कभी जो वेल विशर होता है ही इज हार्श आल्सो, क्योंकि जब आप सुनते
हाँ.
नहीं.
Right. They're really tough.
So one of the things is the shark always loses out on one thing, that the people who are genuinely their well wishers, they don't even listen to them, because they have some idea in their own mind what winning means. See, winning, उनकी परिभाषा में, let us say Conan is giving me a suggestion and I'm a shark. तो मैं तो सोचूंगा मैं उसकी सजेशन मान गया तो मैं हार गया. तो हारना पसंद नहीं है शार्क को. Are you getting it? Even when they
Yeah.
are discussing with someone, this winning losing business comes. Who is right? Who's wrong? I must be right all the time. That is shark behavior. Anything else, they will just not even hear it. Okay? That is a problem with human beings. We are always protecting our point of view. We are defending our point of view. We are not even open to listen, even if we know that the other person means well. We know कि हमारे भले के लिए बोल रहा है. He is saying for our good. They'll not listen because नहीं, मैं उसकी मान लूंगा तो मेरी हार हो जाएगी. You know, if I listen to the other person, I am losing. You understand this? Right, wrong, win, lose, agree, disagree, that kind of polarity behavior. Very strong in a shark. So we are not even saying shark is good or teddy bear is good or turtle is good or bad or nothing. There are only consequences. Parinam hota hai. Yes, sir.
So, sometime in the workplace, intentionally, I become shark to get
So what do
certain
you
things.
do? जिसको आप shark बोल रहे हो?
So, no, I do force my point of views to get the things done.
Okay. So
I become intentionally shark. Otherwise, I'll not get the results.
well, that's what you may be believing, and maybe it's all right for you to do that. But I'm asking you a simple question. If you keep doing that all the time, what would be the consequences for you and your team?
The team will get shrinked.
No, let him answer it, Shanti.
Yeah, there'll be disengagement, disconnect, but I don't do always, but whenever the person to whomsoever I'm interacting is not giving the right output or the result, then intentionally I become forceful.
Yeah, so what do you do exactly when you become forceful? It
I
depends
see.
on what you do.
Yeah.
What you say.
I speak loudly with force,
And
with threatening approach.
okay.
So it creates some fear and sense of urgency and things.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sometimes it is required, I suppose. But my question is still, I mean, you do it if it works for you. Sometimes it has to be done. Okay, I agree with you. क्योंकि जब तक लोगों को झंझोड़े हुए नहीं वो एक्शन में नहीं आते. I agree with you. However, this particular person, if it happens once in a while, it's okay. But suppose this person now gets conditioned that unless somebody is tough with him, he is not going to do the things. You know, आदत पड़ जाती है ना, जब तक झाड़ नहीं पड़ेगी मैं नहीं करूँगा. Right? How dependable is a person like that? Every time you have to shake him up by shouting and threatening, only then he is going to work. So if it is required, I would do that, but I would also sit down with him and ask him, "Ke bhaiya, why don't you just do it?" I mean, I would do a root cause analysis to find out why does he not do it when he's told politely. And I would tell him कि बेटा मेरे को गुस्सा नहीं आता है मगर अगर गुस्सा दिखाने से तेरे से काम होता है तो मैं गुस्सा दिखाना जानता हूँ. See, that bugger is a fellow who is actually becoming dependent on a jhad to show efficiency. Are you getting it?
Yes, I got it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing because we all have to do it sometime or the other in life. एक होता है करना पड़ता है, एक होता है आदत है. You know, one is that you do it when required. You are creating anger or creating force or whatever. And the other one is that you are by default like that. So we need to watch out for these two things. All right, very good. So look and see, where are you? Yes, Tiaguddin, go ahead.
Yeah, so this one more related to especially kids. I feel they need we to be sharp sometimes, most of the time, because they never listen because they are in the flow. They are enjoying their self. They don't want any interference or interference. That's all. So that time we have to show we are sharp. If you say no, I will show. I will be angry. We have to condition this 100 times. Still, they will not listen. So that time, how we'll make them listen? I think their prefrontal cortex something is not developed. They are in that way. So how we'll convince? How we'll do with them this thing?
Now that is a topic for one full session. All right, because all our parents have done this forcefulness with us, and we are suffering from the consequences of it. Right? If you get angry and do what you do, you are going to cause damage. If you are just forceful. So one of the things that we need to master, all of us, is the difference between being aggressive and being assertive. An assertive person will never be labeled as a shark. So coming back to, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let us start recognizing our behavior whenever we are being shark-like. Okay? I only want to fulfill my own goals. I don't care about the goals of other person. Yes, very well.
Sir, the discussion with Kunal is so important to me as well because I am getting input on my life on an opposite side. I have to tune in towards goal purpose because I see myself as always a people pleaser and people put label on me. He is good, he will adjust, he will not get angry, he will not shout. Something that is all stopping me. Now I let to balance it. I'm seeing from opposite side.
Yeah, you wait till tomorrow. Tomorrow we are going to be covering the opposite side.
I understand, sir. Thank you very much.
Anna? All right, so you can look into it and see where. So the important thing to note here is any behavior where I am only concerned about my own goals and I'm not concerned about the other person's goals and desires, okay, I would call that a sharp behavior. मुझे सिर्फ अपने, I'm only caring about my goals, my desires. I don't care about desires of other people in my life. I'm only dedicated to myself, not to those who are important to me. I would call that a sharp behavior. And what is the consequence of that? मेरा उल्लू सीधा होना चाहिए.
You lose everybody.
Yeah, so practically speaking, where are we doing it? If we are doing it, I spent 15 years of my life preparing for a particular role that was my life ambition. All right. And on the day before the interview for being selected in that, I withdrew from the race. You know why? Because I realized at that time that all that I was doing, I was only caring about not myself, not my family. And I said, that is not integrity. So it's always good to check and see, because the people in your life, you are an infinite being, you impact the lives of thousands of people. Yes, Teyakudinji.
Yeah, sometimes we'll feel if the other person is not have that much of, we will judge that is not a big goal. We have that very important, that will be benefit for them also. So that time they can adjust or they have to consider. Otherwise, we will not move forward. We will be in the stagnant position. So what we will do in that situation like?
Yeah. So have you asked them? I mean, I hear a lot of parents telling about their children, what you're saying just now. And I ask them, do you know what your child is interested in? Have you ever asked that child what he wants?
No, not only the children, even it's if it is a spouse or someone.
Yeah. Because they dare not to tell you also. Many of them think there's no use of telling you because you don't care. See, it's very interesting, right from childhood, girls are brought up only to be of service to their husband. उनको बचपन से सिखाया जाता है, your only job is to serve your husband. You cannot have a personal goal and ambition. Nobody asks them. Father said, get married to so-and-so, they get married to so-and-so. Now husband says, you sit at home, they'll sit at home. Husband says, go and work, they will work. Who has asked them? Sometimes it's good to ask people also, no? Sometimes we have very, very talented children and we don't ask them what they want to do. Can I support you in winning? I'm more concerned about myself. If they don't want to do things my way, then I say he's a useless fellow. So look into it, guys. It's a good thing to dwell on for the next 24 hours. So any questions before we close the session? I am now getting into the mood of listening to some Tirukural and some Shairi from Kunain Sahab. All right, so Vetrivel, over to you.
Yes, sir. Today something beautifully coming. It comes randomly, and I wonder how it is beautiful. Tirukural goes this way: Val pola pagavarai anjuka kale pol pagavar thodarbu. The meaning is, fear not the foes who say that they will cut like a sword, but fear the friendship of foes who seemingly act like relations. My own interpretation is, shark who is showing explicit behavior in inert fear, of course you have to be careful, but people come as a polite people and always exhibit their sharp words. You have to be very careful with them. What is
it? You certainly have to be. All right, Kunain Sahab, where are you? I'm not able to see you. Suddenly you disappeared. There you are.
Yes, so there was some issue with the.
Okay, go ahead. Let's listen to you too.
I missed the conversation, sir.
Conversation simple. We are waiting for your shairi.
Okay. जनाब शायरी जो अर्ज किया है कि हजारों कांटों से दामन छुड़ा लिया हमने।
हजारों कांटों से दामन छुड़ा लिया हमने।
अना को मार कर सब कुछ बचा लिया हमने।
किसको मारकर?
अना, ईगो।
ओके ओके, ब्यूटीफुल।
हजारों कांटों से दामन छुड़ा लिया मैंने, अना को मार कर सब कुछ बचा लिया मैंने। मुझे जुनून था हीरा तराशने का, मुझे जुनून था हीरा तराशने का, तो फिर कोई भी राह का पत्थर उठा लिया हमने।
Beautiful.
Really beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And that's a wonderful, on that note, thank you very much. And see you tomorrow for the next edition or the next session on the same topic. Okay, and we shall look at another conflict behavior tomorrow. Thank you and have a nice day. God bless you too.
Sir, stay safe, stay blessed. Bye.
God bless.